Hello, folks. This story was sent to me by a subscriber and is intended for educational purposes only. Thank you for watching. 800 micrograms LSD. The day my refrigerator started giving life advice. I never thought a simple trip on LSD could turn my mundane apartment into a theater of the absurd. But that's exactly what happened when I swallowed 800 micrograms one lazy Saturday afternoon. The day began like any other. Sunlight sneaking through half-closed blinds, the faint hum of the city outside, and me deciding to take a hefty dose to shake up the monotony. I was prepared for colors melting and time warping, but nothing could have readied me for the wisdom that would come from an unlikely source, my refrigerator. As the acid kicked in, the walls began to breathe, subtly pulsating like the steady beat of a giant's heart. The floor seemed to ripple, and the ceiling warped into soft waves overhead. I sat down near the kitchen, mesmerized by the shifting patterns on the tiles. Then, out of nowhere, a voice, warm, slightly nasal and oddly familiar, spoke to me. "Hey there, you look like you could use some advice." I blinked, thinking it was my mind playing tricks, but the voice continued, unmistakably. "Come in, refrigerator. Don't just stare at the walls. Life's too short to waste on patterns that don't mean anything," it said, the fridge door creaking open just a bit as if to emphasize the point. My eyes widened. The fridge wasn't just talking. It was giving advice. I leaned in, half expecting to see a tiny guru inside the vegetable drawer. But it was just the usual contents: a sad bottle of ketchup, some expired yogurt, and a lonely carrot. The fridge's door handle twisted like an arm waving me over. You ever wonder why you keep stuff you don't need? Clutter isn't just physical, you know. Your mind's got its own fridge full of expired thoughts. I laughed nervously, thinking the LSD was messing with me, but I was hooked. The fridge continued. Clear out the old stuff. Make room for fresh ideas, fresh feelings. Start with that email you've been avoiding. Or maybe just dance in your socks for 5 minutes. Suddenly, the refrigerator light flickered, casting shadows that danced like tiny acrobats. The milk carton drew eyes and joined in the conversation. "You know, life's like us," it said in a bubbly tone. "Sometimes you're fresh and full of potential. Other times you're sour and better off left behind." The milk winked. "Embrace the change, my friend." Next, the freezer chimed in, a cold, gruff voice that sounded like an old sailor. "Don't freeze your emotions. Feel the heat, the cold, the storms. It's all part of the ride." I shivered and realized I was grinning like a lunatic, talking to my kitchen appliances. The living room clock chimed, but the fridge was relentless. Time's an illusion anyway. You ever try to live in the moment and not panic about what's next? It's like trying to hold water in your hands. Impossible, but beautiful to try. The door swung wide, revealing a disco ball hanging inside, spinning and scattering rainbows around the kitchen. I felt a surge of joy and a little madness. I got up and started dancing, socks sliding on the hardwood floor, laughing at the absurdity of it all. The fridge applauded in its own metallic way, humming a tune that sounded suspiciously like an 80s hit. Then came the weirdest part. The toaster joined the chat. It popped up and down rhythmically, offering toasted bread slices with little smiley faces. "Breakfast of champions," it said. "Fill your body. Fuel your soul. Don't skip the small joys." I grabbed a slice, and as I bit into it, the flavors exploded into a symphony of memories. Childhood picnics, late-night talks, and and the sweet taste of freedom. The trip was no longer just visual or mental. It was deeply emotional, tactile, and utterly bizarre. Hours passed. Maybe minutes. Time no longer mattered. The fridge, now fully animated, gave me one last piece of advice. Remember, you're the chef of your own life. Choose your ingredients wisely. Stir things up when needed. And never forget to enjoy the weird recipe that is you. As the effects began to fade, the voices softened, and the fridge returned to its silent, cold state. The room stopped breathing, the patterns settled, and reality stitched itself back together with a quiet hum of normalcy. But something had changed. I wasn't just a guy who took LSD. I was someone who had danced with his refrigerator, learned from expired yogurt, and toasted to life's unpredictable flavors. And every time I open that fridge now, I swear I hear a little chuckle, reminding me to live weirdly, live fully, and never underestimate the wisdom of everyday things.